My name's Will Mercer, and I was Dylan's roommate freshman year in Jensen, a dorm here at Champlain College. And it definitely was an interesting experience. Upon move-in, I definitely, it was like one of the first people I met, and I could instantly tell that we had some differences, but I was pretty excited to get into it. And living with him actually was cool because you got to learn a lot about things that I didn't know about, that I actually liked, like video games and things like that. So we connected a little bit over that. But I'm here to talk about how Dylan was a bad roommate. And to be honest with you, it really wasn't. It was just we were on completely different schedules.
I lived with Dylan freshman year, 2 years ago. Dylan stayed up very late. Probably he would be awake when we were asleep and vice versa, and playing video games. And I don't know, it got pretty weird when we were in the room and he was asleep. Yeah.
Just introduce yourself.
Say hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
I'm Christina.
We're the Wonder Twins. I don't know. I just did. How didn't you notice? One time Dylan pooped in the toilet. It was really bad, and it didn't flush apparently. And it was like the morning, and I woke up and I was like, how did he not notice that it was filled with poop? It was filled with poop, and it was clogged, and I had to unclog it. And I was like, God damn it.
I mean, he was cleanliness. Dylan was very messy. And we actually built him a little cave in our room because he just would destroy everything with just Cheetos. It wasn't anything big messy, it was just...
I just remember he had a cave. The cave was a big...
Could you describe the cave a little bit?
Okay. So my other roommate Will, you'll probably hear from him soon or something, he took his beds and raised them up. He had 2 beds, raised them up high, and pushed them together, so it made like a super bed, but raised. And then Dylan took the opportunity to put his bed underneath of the super bed, and then put sheets around the entire thing, so it was just literally a cave. And everything he owned was in this cave. And he did not leave it, unless to go to the bathroom, class, or eat. No, ate in the cave. And yeah, that's pretty much what he did. And I didn't see him much freshman year because of the cave.
Dylan would just, he would eat a lot of food in the dorm room. I don't think he liked the calf food very much. So, and everything that he ate seemed to be able to be reduced down to crumbs. And so you would see a line where his little cave was in a room across where, we would vacuum and just leave his crumbs. I remember leaving when I was the last roommate to leave from our dorm room on cleanup, and I moved his bed to vacuum, and it was ridiculous. It was probably 3 years worth of Cheetos in one corner of it. But at the same time, I felt like I was not the best roommate at all, because I would always kind of put Dylan in that cave just because I didn't want to deal with his mess,
Do you have a question, Matt? I have a question. Wait, so you slept under this other person who was
Yes.
a bunk? Yeah, it's called a bunk bed, Matt.
No, it was like a room inside of a room. A TV was in there, video games, guitar, bass.
But it's kind of like you live with the reckless person, and it's like, oh, it's dirty. Shocker. It's like I knew this, but yeah.
Figured this was gonna happen.
The filth wasn't shocking. Yeah, some people are dirty. Not dirty. You're not your room was dirty.
It wasn't really dirty. It was
just there's stuff everywhere. There wasn't dirt on the walls. You weren't
Actually,
well, there was fake blood in the bathroom.
All right, that's fair.
Actually, the guitar and the bass are in the closet. Yeah, imagine that.
To clarify.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember it, but I remember getting cheese off, leaving cheese in
The fridge, yeah. You know that's still there. That's...
Really?
I haven't touched that fridge since I moved out. It is at Burns' place in his basement still. It hasn't been opened since that incident.
So this kid would wake up, it seemed like in the afternoon, somehow managed to get to all of his classes and then stay awake up until like 4 or 5 in the morning, where he'd get a few hours of sleep and then wake up for class if he had an early one, and then come back, go to sleep. So we were just really on opposite schedules. I would wake up and go to class and then stay up and go to bed at a reasonable time, even though it was freshman year in college. But other than that, like him staying up and like since he was always on his keyboard, Dylan that being, I always was hearing him just hacking away. 3 o'clock in the morning, and I still can hear that now that I'm talking about it. But other than that, man, this guy was really nice.
Dylan liked to touch himself. This is not true. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Probably, but
I've had so many roommates like you, Dylan. Yeah, so now the camera's still rolling, right?
yeah.
All right, so yeah, I should just continue on with the camera. But yeah, I just felt like I wasn't the best roommate either, just because I was on such an opposite schedule than him, and I kind of didn't put myself in his shoes going through like classes and doing his own thing in college. I was just thinking about what I was doing and how it was interfering with what I was doing. So it was definitely a learning experience for me. But yeah.
Sometimes the hard part about sometimes when people owe you money. Sometimes Dylan owed me money for like rent or heat. Sometimes, it's like you want to do things with your money, like you want to go out, or I don't go out, so that's kind of a lie. Maybe you just want to buy something, and you're like, I don't have money because I'm owed money, and it's also your friend, so you don't want to like be mad and be like, fuck, but you kind of want to be like, fuck. So that sucks when you can't do stuff.
Dylan did that.
Dylan did that. Dylan owed me money a good amount of time, and I would be like, fuck, because I'd, like, it would actually be like, I was actually able to pretty much regularly schedule, like, I know I'll be missing some of this money at the end of the month. That is my money. I'm like, I'll probably get it back in a few weeks, and then I'll have this money that's my money. But, so that sucks.
Okay, so yeah, here's the biggest difference between Dylan and my current roommate is because now I'm really the messiest person in our apartment, and he is the biggest clean freak, and most of the time I kind of wish Dylan would come back just so I could be a little bit messier. But my current living situation, I've realized that living with one person is so much better than living with 2, or like 3 or 4. So when Dylan and I were living together, we had another roommate, so 3 of us, and we were able to make a pretty good mess, and that was without even having a kitchen together, a bathroom, and extra rooms to mess up. So I'm sure that if Kevin, Dylan, and I got an apartment now, we could definitely do work on it. But yeah, my current rooming situation's pretty good. Yeah, I really enjoy it, but I have to be so cleanly all the time, and kind of miss Dylan's mess a bit. But
So landlord. Oh wait, we had a name
boobs.
for her. We had a worse name for her.
It was Fake Boob Slumlord.
Fake poop slumlord though. I like that one.
That was our name for
The
her.
slumlord would be like mad that like
That Dylan's room was messy.
that Dylan's room was messy, and she was like, "Your apartment's a mess." And we're like, "Okay," so we cleaned it, and then she's like, "It's a mess," and it was just Dylan's room was dirty, but he cleaned it, so I don't fuck. She was just a bit.
Didn't you send like a really passive aggressive email
She did, yeah, several. And
about how you had to clean your room and have it be like free of foul odors
Free of
and
foul,
like
yes.
a bunch of stuff.
a bunch of rude, like, without saying horrible things, she said horrible things. And then at the end of the lease, she tried to take money from us that she had already said she wasn't, like, we had hamsters in there for like 2 weeks. We weren't supposed to have pets. And she's like, if you get them out of there, I won't charge you $200 for these guinea pigs. It's my bad. And so we were like, all right, fine, we got them out of there. And she sent us a letter with like charges, and it was like cleaning, and then like the hamster charge was striked out. But then when the lease was over, there was a charge that was like hamsters, and we were like, you asked us to take them out, and you said you weren't going to charge us for them, and you
have
charged
a letter
us.
of proof.
Yeah, we have a letter from you that says you aren't going to charge us for the guinea pigs being there. And it took like weeks of like, my mother like found some Vermont law that's like, you can't take this money away from them after this amount of time. And then she was like, oh, I guess I won't take that money from you, and sent us a check for the money.
Positive. Dylan was a great guy. Very nice. kept his messes in his cave, so didn't really have to deal with that. And yeah, I mean, he had a really attractive friend that would come visit. That was like the highlight of everything. Kara. She was very lovely. That's Dylan. There you go.
Dylan was a Twinkie and he got dirt all over the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
Oh, with the
When you
samurai
were,
movie.
yeah,
and the fake blood all over the
the
bathroom.
fake blood all over the bathroom. But that's like something that you just expect from Dylan.
Oh, the
Maybe-
coffin. We should definitely 100% talk about the coffin. It wasn't like a bad thing. It was just like
It was just a thing.
it was just a thing.
Yeah, the day we moved in, Dylan, he had a coffin, and it took 3 of us to carry it into the apartment. And at the same time, there was another person moving into an apartment near us, and their dad stared at us, and we were carrying a coffin. And the dad was like, I bet there's a good story about that one. And we just kind of stared at each other, and we're like, nope. And just walked into our apartment with the coffin.
Fake Boobs was mad about it. She was like, there's a coffin in the room, and
Oh, was she?
I think
didn't hear
so.
this
I thought
story.
in one of the emails, like, she was like, also, there's like a coffin in his room. We're like, well, he uses it as like a dresser. And she was like, okay.
We're like,
Like,
hiding dead bodies.
yeah, I think she
We're
was like, that,
hiding-
oh yeah, she was like, that doesn't look good to people who are looking at the apartment. It's like,
Okay.
they're gonna be like, it's a college student. Like, it's a funny thing.
Now that I've had so many roommates, I've had probably 14 to this point in my life, and I would definitely not rank Dylan the worst at all. Yeah. Granted, I said earlier that we didn't have a kitchen or a bathroom, so that would have been an interesting experiment to throw in
You can ask
with our
Matt
living
about that.
situation. But honestly, I think that at some points I was just as big of a slob throwing my clothes everywhere. It just wasn't able to become Cheeto-sized crumbs. But other than that, Dylan was a pretty cool kid to live with. Definitely an interesting person to live with. You might win that award.
I didn't really know you before that, I guess.
I don't think we still really know each other that well.
Yeah. I just remember one time you came home like soaking wet, dressed as like a hot dog or something. And that was pretty much my experience there, so.
Would you live with me again in the future?
Totally.
Alright.
Good living experience.
Is there anything else?
I don't know. Any final thoughts?
Like if Dylan was gonna die, what kind of eulogy would we give him?
So if I had to do a eulogy of Dylan, I guess my first word is to be starting off with, alright, I guess I have to clean up with this kid's mess again.
Dylan Kiely was an excellent person. He was very nice and kept to himself. And he ruined my refrigerator.
What do people say at eulogies?
Dylan was a very messy man. Didn't sleep much, but I don't think he needed it. So he had his passions, and that's all I needed. But I don't know. I kind of want to start that one over again.
They always try to make the person sound good, and they try to sum up their life. Dylan was a shooting star made of pizza.
But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it.
And when he hits the planet and the planet blows up, pepperonis are getting everywhere. Dylan, and then that's. I'm gonna walk off the podium, and the
Dylan.
priest is gonna be like, "What the fuck was that?"
I still think Dylan's a pretty awesome guy.
I like Dylan. I was just frustrated with Dylan sometimes.
I mean,
I really like Dylan as a person. This is weird, he's right. I really like Dylan as a person. It was just like, oh, sometimes.
That's descriptive.
Oh wait, I did want to say this. I thought about this because you were like, we're gonna interview you.
Hey,
Dylan.
Thank you.
Dylan, he was like, oh fuck, I just lost it. I'm so sorry. This was a good thought. I can't remember now. It's so sad. It was something good.
living with Dylan, it's a lot louder. A little more unexpected. You get a lot more free pizza though.
Hint.
You wanna talk about that?
Oh, if Dylan wasn't like such like Dylan's a decent. If Dylan wasn't such like a decent human being, I probably would have killed him. Like I liked Dylan enough that I wasn't like.
Gonna murder him?
Yeah, like I don't like this. Like I don't know this new kid we're living with. So like if he like does something stupid or fucked up or what, I'm just gonna be like, hey, idiot.
So, do you actually think you're a horrible roommate?
Yeah, not a horrible one.
All right,
but I
cool.
think I definitely
'Cause-
have made it hard for people to live around me in the past.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. I'm the one who should feel bad.
I want you to feel bad.
Well, I don't feel bad, so go.
Well, in that case, fuck this guy.
They all want me to stay, but they don't even know what they do. Why won't you leave me alone? I'm just trying to do what I think I should. Now I have to.
I don't want. I'm just trying to sign this thing. Just like get boobs out of my face. Maybe that's like why we signed so quickly. We're just like, oh god.